skip ahead to the 1 minute mark for today's message. Let's get started. All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So if you are listening to this, there are very high chances that you are already a healer, you're already a coach. Maybe you've just begun this journey, or you've been now doing this for a little bit of time. Very high probability that you've been doing this since COVID, which could be anywhere between 4 or 5 years, or maybe even less than the last 6 months. So regardless of where you are on the journey, this is a question that I'm sure you're thinking a lot about, which is, when will my time come? Last year, we used to run this program called Mera Number Kab Aayega, and of course, loosely translates to the same phrase. So if you're somebody who is looking to have that break, today's message is specifically for you. Earlier today, I was listening to students, people in our community who are already on the journey, people who are healers and coaches. And I kept hearing this message coming back over and over and over again, regardless of whether they've seen success or whether they are getting ready for that success. The truth is that, when you really want to be able to experience that success, it's literally like turning on a switch, which means that until you really know where the switch is, you will, for the longest time, feel like you're constantly stumbling, you're constantly falling. And ever so often it looks like, okay, maybe this time I've cracked it, only to realize that, this didn't work out. Whether that is, attending a program, whether that is attending a course, we all go through this phase where we believe that, once this is done, everything will be set. And only to realize later that, yes, you've done the course. Yes, you've got the, let's say, the accreditation, whatever it is that you were seeking, but you're still not yet there. And I say this only because I just want to remind you that this is a process, which means that only when you're truly ready will everything come together. And the funny part is that once it comes together, it'll literally feel like, a difference of night and day, meaning that even until yesterday or even until a few weeks, or maybe even months ago, what you wanted was something that you dreamt of, was something that you vision boarded, but you were not able to live that reality on a day-to-day basis. Until, of course, you do find the switch, you flick the switch, and now you've stepped into being this new version of you. And more each day as you do this, you're being that new version of you. And then when you kind of reflect back and you realize that, wow, I really was a different person 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago, for that matter, maybe even 3 years ago. So just something to keep in mind, especially, if you are a healer, if you're a coach. One is, as I keep saying this over and over again, keep showing up, right? Because you don't know when that moment comes when you find the switch, you flick the switch, and then you literally are this new version of you that you've always dreamt of. That's one. The second thing, of course, is that, in doing this work, it is so important that you're really focused on wanting to make a difference in other people's lives. Because until then, if you make it all about you, every time there is a rejection, it'll feel like as if you are, it's your self-worth that is getting a beating. It's your self-worth that is being literally degraded. So keep in mind that, when you show up like this every single day, your intention is to be there for others. I know initially, even this thought might feel foreign, because for a lot of us as healers and coaches in the initial phase, we're doing this also largely because we want to earn a living, and we make it all about that. So, and again, there's nothing wrong with it, but just remember that when we step up like this, which means we show up every day with the intention of sooner or later, but eventually stepping into that new version of us. If, for those of you who are familiar with the book Psycho-Cybernetics, they talk a lot about the X programming and the Y programming. So until you fully step into Y or the Y programming, you will have lots and lots of times where you keep shuttling between the old you and the new you. And just remember that it is a process. So there will come a day when something just clicks and then it all makes sense. So as always, I show up every day just to remind you that you're not alone, that you're meant to do this work. And what you're doing is very, very blessed work. So you show up and you will keep receiving rewards. And of course, also something to keep in mind that, you've been fortunate that you got to see this message, you got to hear this message. Please do share this with one other healer or coach, someone who is probably struggling even more than you. And maybe they're just not able to express it. So, a lot of times when we receive messages like this, we are able to suddenly look up, and that can be the turning point. So, as always, I truly appreciate you. And having said all of this, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.